Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Coskerr. Feeding Frenzy 2, the Trailblazer game series for the Eat 'em style genre. That's right, before your Agario and your Hungry Sharks, there was this game. The simple concept of eating enemies, growing larger, and eating even bigger enemies. It quite possibly originated from Feeding Frenzy. In fact, buckle your seatbelts folks, cause you're about to hear another story of when I was younger. As a kid, there was a game that I absolutely loved to bits. It was a simple game where you started off as a fish with the goal of getting larger by eating other fish that were smaller than you. I was never very good at this game, and I was never able to get very big, but I thought it was so fun. Unfortunately though, one day I stopped playing that game, and when a time came when I wanted to start playing it again, I'd forgotten what it was called and how to get back to it. I was so devastated, and every time I thought about that game, I'd have to cope with the fact that I'd lost it to time. Forever. Until recently. See, a while back, I uploaded a video where I played my beloved childhood game, Insane Aquarium, and in the comments I asked for suggestions for what game I should play next. By far, the most popular suggestion was a little game called Feeding Frenzy. I'd never heard that name before, so I gave it a quick search, and lo and behold, it was the game I had been missing for so long. It's crazy how I was never able to find this game though. I mean, it's published by PopCap, and I love PopCap games. Granted, a lesser known PopCap game, but still. Today we'll be playing Feeding Frenzy 2, the second installment of the franchise, and the second installment of our much anticipated fish game trilogy. I'm not sure what the third game's gonna be yet though, so, comment your favorite fish game down below. I started off as a small fish known by his friends as Boris, and by his enemies as the fish that ate my family. I was a butterfly fish with big dreams, and I just moved to the lovely waters of Sandy Shoal, just off Frenzy Coast. Here I would make those dreams a reality, but I couldn't accomplish my goals by just sitting around. It was time to start making moves. I wasn't gonna get anywhere if I stayed a small, insignificant fish, so it was time to bulk up a bit. I've heard that fish were one of the best sources of protein, and when you know it, all my neighbors were fish. It was a no-brainer to start eating them. I ate small fish and slowly grew in size, while also dodging the larger predators. I consumed and consumed, and before you know it, I was achieving Feeding Frenzy, Double Frenzy, Mega Super Awesome Ultra God Mode Frenzy, and just like that, I'd grown enough to make it to the next level. I unlocked the Dash ability, which allowed me to consume entire bloodlines 30% faster. It seemed like Boris's move to Sandy Shoal was an overwhelming success. Life was good. Surely, nothing would ruin this. What? Conflict? That's right everyone, this game about eat fish get bigger has a plot. Can you believe it? This mysterious fish was not welcome. Not here. Not in my nice suburban neighborhood. I was not about to let him run rampant and ruin my property value, so it was my duty, along with other like-minded members of my community, to stop him. We consulted with Layla, the local queen triggerfish and also president of the Homeowners Association. She was no stranger to getting rid of unwanted guests. After all, she did have that pesky clownfish family taken care of, so you could say she had some experience when it came to this sort of thing. There was no time to waste. We'd unlocked a new ability, which much like me at a Red Lobster, we could now inhale any fish directly in front of us. I started sucking up fish like no one's business. We were gonna have to bulk up again fast if we wanted any chance of catching up to the alien fish. So it was time to gaslight gatekeep girl boss our way to a higher weight class with Layla. Luckily, we were able to get some help through our newest discovery, shrooms. That's right, these magic mushrooms would turn larger fish into little bite-sized appetizers, which sped things up a bit. Also, we were now able to search for food above water, eating bugs and jumping for treats like some overworked circus animal. All this consumption led us deeper into the ocean, where sightings of the alien had been reported. I navigated through the treacherous waters, but I still couldn't find our unwanted guest. Maybe he wasn't here. Maybe he went away all on his own. Nope, he was still causing mayhem. He had to be stopped, but he was heading to even deeper waters. There was no way Layla will be able to survive down there. There was no cell service. But luckily, our man Eddie the Angler was there to pick up the baton. He would light the way through the shadowy depths, and with a head literally bigger than the rest of his body, I was hoping we'd get some intelligence bonus, or I don't know, telekinesis or something. We entered the Midnight Zone, where the dark wasn't nearly as big a problem as I thought it would canopy. I mean, these little orbs pretty much gave us the lighting power of the sun whenever we ate them, so it made this place more like the daylight zone. I still had to be cautious though, as jellyfish were native to the area. Running into them would be a slight inconvenience. Nevertheless, I managed to eat my way through this stage, but not fast enough to catch up to the alien. I only caught a glimpse of it before it made its way to shallower waters. Eddie could go no further as he was too down to earth to put up with shallow fish. So it was time for Peter the Pompano to take over. Peter resided in Buccaneer Bay, a part of the bay full of performance-enhancing power-ups and poisonous fish. These were going to be tough waters, but luckily Peter had a jawline that could cut through the underside of a boat, so I assume toughness isn't exactly a foreign concept for him. I had to once again dodge the many hazards like clams and jellyfish, but now there were also cuttlefish that would squirt ink directly into my fish eyeballs, as well as underwater mines, which seemed to be the go-to hazard for any piece of fish-related media. Despite all these things trying to stop us, we were still making progress. We even almost beat the Barracuda bonus level. I mean, just look at how impressive this unedited footage is. So close. But luckily I caught up to the alien quickly and was able to upgrade to the next fish. Now we were really getting some muscle. Harry the Humphead Wrasse was a unit, and I just know that he'd been waiting for his chance to be a hero. That's right, with big dreams and an even bigger forehead, he was going to be unstoppable. My man might even be the one to take out the alien. The mean waters of Wrasse Reef were intimidating, with no shortage of marlin and sharks and frickin' psycho pelicans swooping down, but this new fish was built for it. Harry had street cred. I got to work, eating all the fish and bugs I could. The stage also had these new protector minnows called bite blockers. They'd prevent me from being eaten if I accidentally got too close to a bigger fish. Easily the most goated power-up in the game. I kept eating. Our main food source for this stage were pufferfish who had almost zero survival instincts. I'd look deep into their eyes and just wait a second for them to deflate before eating them alive. Don't worry, we're the good guys. We finally managed to catch up to the alien and were able to just kind of again let him swim by. I guess even Harry wasn't fish enough to throw hands. It looked like we were going to need something even bigger. Enter Goliath. That's right, this guy doesn't even get a proper name. Just, you know, he's big. He ain't got no personality or feelings. Just take him for a test drive. His actual name is Jimmy, but they just call him Goliath. Didn't even ask how his day was. But if anyone was going to be able to stop this alien, it was going to be this guy. Sharktooth Ridge is where our journey took us next, supposedly home to a human research lab, as well as many beautiful, large, vibrant species that we were about to push to the edge of extinction. Remember, we're the good guys. I started to feast. Before, I thought I could only dream of eating full-grown orcas whole, but hey, here we are. We made our way to the research lab and, oh my god, it's been destroyed! Who could have done this? Oh, it was definitely the mysterious alien fish. We had no evidence to support this claim, but oh, I could feel it. It had to be him. It had to be the guy that I didn't like. How dare he destroy this facility that had actually completely leveled a fragile coral reef for its construction? He absolutely had to be stopped before he caused any more problems. There weren't really any new power-ups for this stage, but who needs power-ups when you're a big-ass great white shark? We kept eating, and finally, our path of destruction, paved with good intentions, had led us to the alien. It was time to take back the ocean. I had to be swift. I was able to shrink him by biting his antenna and then dropping a mine directly on his skull. It was a great strategy. I kept repeating the process until he had shrunk down to an edible size, but now he was quick. He just barely escaped my jaws as I chased him back to Wrasse Reef. We had the upper hand. It was finally time to chase this unwanted visitor out of our town for good. I took control of Harry again. I had to stop the alien before he started completely decimating the local ecosystem, but he was too quick, so we'd have to get bigger once again to catch up. We began completely decimating the local ecosystem to get bigger. Don't worry, we are the good guys. Luckily, we were able to catch up to him much quicker this time around, and before I knew it, I was right back to dropping explosives on its head. He shrunk again. He was surprisingly resilient and managed to escape our clutches a second time. I moved on to Peter, then Eddie, then Layla, repeating the same process of shrinking the alien until we had finally shrunk him down to Boris' size. It was time for Boris to finish this. But chasing the alien out of our neighborhood wasn't enough anymore. He had to be exterminated. Why, you ask? Well, because he's in his spawning cycle. Yeah, and if we don't kill the alien now, he'll release 1 billion spores and infect the entire ocean. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. How do I know this? No time to explain. We have to save the world. We'd finally cornered the intruder back at the place where it all started. I did my best to avoid the many ultra-dangerous hazards of this epic battle, like cuttlefish and green goblin minnows, and of course, mines. We kept biting his antenna, which the game would call a tail bite for some reason. He didn't stand a chance, especially since he ignored me completely until I attacked him, almost like he's a passive creature or something. We kept wearing him down with explosives and easily evaded his sloppy attacks until we shrunk him down to an edible size. And finally, after this epic journey we'd been on, this battle was over. We had done it. We defeated the alien menace. Now he could never go forth and multiply, or, whatever they said he was going to do. It was time to celebrate with all the fish in the sea, unless, there were none left, given that we probably ate them all. Completing the game unlocked the alien intruder as a now playable character. It almost felt like a metaphor. In trying to prevent this creature from harming the ocean, we ourselves had become the monster. But anyway, that was Feeding Frenzy 2. Pretty fun, man. I definitely would have played it so much more as a kid had I known what it was called. Better late than never, I suppose. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, once again, the second installment of our much anticipated fish game trilogy. Once again, I don't know what the third game is gonna be, so please, suggestions down in the comments below. But with that being said, if you like, leave a like. If you subscribe, appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, cheers.